I need to sell my house, and it's a daunting thought. I'm already so busy, and I have no idea where to start. I know there are tons of forms involved, staging, and the showings. I think of the crazy world out there, and it may even be dangerous to have strangers coming into my house. But I don't want to spend the money to hire a realtor.
At Coldwell Baker Kinard Real Estate, we understand your concerns. You'll be surprised to know that you may make more money faster and stress-free by working with one of our experts. Give us a call today for a free consultation. 423-414-1002 or 423-284-3233.
Informational,
fun,
timely,
relevant.
That's what people are saying about A to Z in real estate. 30 minutes packed with great info for home sellers, buyers, and investors. And now let's welcome your host, Lizzie Cohen.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to A to Z in real estate. This is Lizzie Cohen, your host, and I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday morning. It's a fall morning, my favorite time of the year. And so we're here today, as always, thanking our main sponsor, Coldwell Baker Kinard Realty, and also Title Insurance Company of Cleveland. We're always ever grateful for their sponsorship and their vote of confidence in what we're doing. Today we have a very interesting program. We have our very own Tate Trentham here with us in the studio. He's one of our young agents, and we have a nice program with him today. And I also want to welcome Sean Matthews,
Good
my
morning,
co-host
Lizzie.
and broker and friend and all of that. You know, you're a keeper.
All right, I appreciate it.
And welcome, Tate.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I know it happened kind of a spur of the moment, but sometimes those are the best programs.
Absolutely.
So, tell us a little bit about you, Tate. Where you're from, and then tell us why you decided to get into real estate.
Okay. Well, I grew up here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Born and raised. I went to Cleveland High School. Played football there. Going on my 5th year in real estate this October. I've been in real estate with Sean here for 5 years as well.
Nice.
It started off with him at another company, then we switched over to Coldwell Banker. And reason I got into real estate is really just being self-employed. Having the freedom to work when you want to, being able to schedule your own work hours, and really just being in control of your own business.
Absolutely. I think that's a great motivation for most of us anyway, to have that freedom. Right. To call your own schedule. It's not that it's easy.
No.
There is a flip side to that, right?
Right.
But it's nothing like you're in control of your own time and your own day. Be your own boss. What do you think, boss?
Well, I do. You were able to multitask a lot too, because you graduated from UTC in those same years, and so you did have the freedom to finish a college degree out. And tell us a little bit about that. What did you do at UTC?
Started off at Cleveland State Community College here in Cleveland, and then I got my associates, and then transferred up to UTC and finished out in 2020 with a bachelor's in marketing.
Oh, how wonderful. And I'm sure that's helping you tremendously in your real estate career.
And doing all of that part-time with real estate. So a lot of balancing hours with that.
For sure.
Yeah. So you got to graduate, and now real estate's kind of your full-time thing?
Full-time job now.
Yeah, that's cool. To see the beginning and the end, that 5 years has been...
Absolutely. And I know that Sean has sort of, taken you under his wing in being a mentor for you as a young person. There's a lot to learn. When we go to real estate school, basically they teach us how to pass that exam, how to get that license, and then we're on our own, in the real world, not really knowing what's going on,
Absolutely.
And that's why by law, any agent, and this is for, free information for people out there that might be thinking about a real estate career. By law, a new agent has to be working under the auspices of a brokerage for 2 years, at least in the state of Tennessee.
Right.
The first 2 years, that person, even though it's licensed in the state, cannot practice real estate on their own. They have to be part of a brokerage firm.
Right.
So you've been with Sean for 5 years. And
Started off at 18 years old, so I had no clue about anything with housing or how to buy a house. So it was all new to me. So especially at that young age.
Yeah, but to take the sports analogy, you know,
Right.
I met your dad, and you know, he talked about you being in football, and you played linebacker, right? You know, he said you were very coachable when I met your father, Billy, and you know, we kind of laughed about it, but that's been true because you know you've come to me like when the semester's getting ready to start and you needed money for college. You're like, I got to make some money. What should I do? So we would always point you kind of in the right direction,
Right.
you know, and you'd make it work, you know, and I think that's a good testimony. You know, if you work hard, you can achieve what you want to achieve in real estate.
Absolutely.
So, you know, congrats to you. A lot of young folks can't do it, you know.
Yeah. You have to be goal oriented and very disciplined and really driven. And I know that you are. So tell me a little bit about what a typical day, if there's such a thing as a typical day, for you looks like.
Yeah, and you really have to treat it like your own business. So you have to come in, you have to have tasks set up every morning, you know, that you want to accomplish.
Your to-do list.
Yeah, to-do list for the rest of the day. And, you know, you really got to stick with it. You have to really treat it like it's a real job. You know, you have the freedom to do what you want, but, you know, you also have to be disciplined, like you said.
Yeah, and what would you what would you tell the people out there that have the notion that, oh yeah, real estate agents, they have a great job driving around all day long and looking at beautiful homes and, you know, having good old time and getting this big fat check at the end of the transaction? What would you say to somebody that thinks that?
I would say it's not true. I say there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it. A lot of phone calls, a lot of connecting with other individuals, not just clients, you know, lenders, people in the business that help move along the process, such as insurance agents, home inspectors. It takes a full group to, you know, get the transaction to close.
It's a teamwork,
Yes.
absolutely. What do you say, Sean, to somebody saying, well, you guys, well, when are you going to get a real job? Kind of thing?
Well, you know, and TV's kind of ruined it for us a little bit because of Home and Garden TV. You know, you watch a 30-minute episode, they looked at 3 houses, and there they are at the end of it smiling in this beautiful granite kitchen, and it was just magical. You know, they looked at a house and now they're in the house. And we know, you know, like your last closing went 90 days from start to finish to get to closing yesterday, and there was a lot of bumps along the way. So, you know, it's what we prepare for, right? And we look at it. But circling back to Tate, a lot of times if I'm interviewing a younger agent that's coming in, never been licensed before, they want to get into real estate, I usually march them back to Tate's desk and let him sit at his desk because he's got his time blocking, he's got his goals, his affirmations up there. You know, it's really laid out. Anybody that gets into this, first thing we try to do with them is a business plan, you know, and then we work off of that with time management. So, you know, that's our day, right? We start off, we have these tasks, you know, A, B, C, and D that we have to do, and then we exhaust ourselves throughout the day and do them in a positive, workmanlike manner. So, you know.
Absolutely. All that goes in that package if you're going to be successful. And then what about, you know, the fact that a real estate professional has to know, in reality, you have to know a little bit of everything, especially what's going on in the local area where you work, whatever that area it may be. I mean, in our case, is Cleveland, and we also, you know, service the Chattanooga area, Ottawa. We need to know what's going on in terms of economic development, what new companies are setting up shop, or what's going on in the culture, so that we can turn around and talk with our clients or potential clients and give them advice about different communities, different subdivisions. You know, not that we're going to steer anybody in any particular direction, we're not supposed to do that, but we do need to be knowledgeable about the community.
The trends, the trends and what's coming,
the statistics, you know, what kind of market activity. People, that's changing, but a lot of people don't realize the amount of work behind the scenes that we do, like you were saying. So what about, Sean was telling me that you have been involved in some investment opportunities. And Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, me and Sean started in multifamily in that business. We kind of found a niche market to work in, and we started that about 2 years ago, maybe a little longer.
Was that your idea or Sean's idea?
I think it was kind of just a collaborative effort.
Yeah, he plopped down in my chair, in my crying chair in my office, and he said, "Hey, I need an idea, something, a different direction to go." And we had just sold a duplex, our first one, and we kind of piggyback off that and like, how can we explore doing more of these? Because more and more people were looking into maybe a 2-family or a 4-family property. So it was one on Arbor Place in Chattanooga. That kind of was the catalyst to the whole thing.
And it's continued to grow. We've really enjoyed the aspect of that business, and we've just continued to work into that niche market and really became like a business plan on continuing to work in multifamily.
So you are working with investors?
Yes,
people that
investors
are
and people trying to get into multifamily, starting off.
Wow.
Yeah. So how many people do you have in your database right now that have talked to you, know you, got mail from you, know you do this?
Yeah, I think we've got around 300 to 400 people that we've stayed in contact with, and we've kind of built up a database with.
Right, so as people have called us on the multifamily properties, as we've researched people that are, multiple property owners, we've mailed them, we've got their phone numbers, we've called them. So when we get a new listing, we go down our list, hey, are you still buying? Nope, not interested. Hey, do you want to sell anything? So we stay in constant contact with these people. So since we started that project, how many units have we closed?
I think around 80 to 90 units.
In 3 years?
About two.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And about 50 this year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Strictly the multifamily idea.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk a lot with absentee owners and people that own the buildings already that may have been sitting there for a while, and you try to explain to them about what's happening in the market and all of that. Is that part of it?
Some are local, some are local investors that we meet with, and some are out of state, and a lot of the times they don't know how much the values went up here in the past couple of years. They're really surprised.
Really?
Well, and so everybody gets a lot of mail. They have their own ideas, but until you tap into somebody that's really doing the kind of volume that we do, they want the straight answers.
Yeah, you provide actual numbers.
Oh yeah. So like some of our marketing pieces, we're doing, average sale price, how many listings were available, how many sold, the year-over-year inventory, days on the market, all that stuff that everybody has access to, but how does it fit you?
How does it relate to your own property?
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other side is, so we list a duplex, and we might meet 10 or 20 people that call us about it. So now we've got those phone numbers and those people, and we know they buy because they've called us on it. And then again, we're always scratching to get new ones. So in those 85 or 90 transactions, we do off-market properties too. So we might just know somebody that has one to sell and somebody that wants to buy one, and we put it together. It never hits the MLS. Right. So that's why you kind of want to work with somebody that's in that field. Commercial's a little different, and it's not always shared to the multiple listing service because it's just such a fast market, and it's very niche, as we've said. So a lot of times, we're not putting it out there to the masses. A seller says, this is what I want to achieve. We've got this list of people, and we connect them. And of course, we go through, as a facilitator, however, agency-wise.
You connect the two parties.
Yeah, and with 2 people working, we can split it up. One of us can be the agent for the seller, one can be the agent for the buyer. And Tate, I have to say, is very good at going through that database saying, oh, you're getting this? I've got a guy looking for that. And
Very
reaching out to those people. One of our larger transactions was an opportunity that popped up, and within 4 hours we put it together because the timing was right, and it was super competitive. Many agents were going for this portfolio, and we were able to secure it, close it, and now it's a happy customer that we talk to on a daily basis. He's kind of an advisor to us. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So I'd like for you to give your contact information for the people that want to get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely.
How can people get a hold
You
of
can
you?
reach me at my cell number, 423-599-5340, or you can also reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Tag is Tate Trentham, TateTrentham.
Very cool. Our numbers are on the screen. Sean, your number?
Sure. Easiest way to reach me is my cell phone, 423-284-3233. Just give us a call. You know, it's a Saturday. It's a light day. I'm available if you got some questions. You know, give me a call, Lizzie. Where do they get you?
Yeah, mine is also on the screen, but for the listeners is 423-414-1002. And I have to say, one thing that we enjoy doing a lot, and it's part of what we do, is consulting with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting to know the person, their needs, their wants, and see how we can fit in, how we can provide and fill that gap. And when it comes to real estate, of course, there's a lot of notions out there of, you know, especially in this very unique market. People have this idea that they can list their properties for twice as much, and yes, there has been a tremendous increment, up to 14% so far in this year. But you know, I think that's what we bring to the table: that value of sitting down with a potential seller or a potential buyer and just give them some real numbers,
Right.
and provide some guidance, because it is a process, isn't it? Whether you're working with an investor or a seller or a buyer, inevitably you're going to be going through at the very minimum, 4 to 6 weeks of paperwork and in a process, you know, that involves each real estate transaction.
Right. We're working on a strip mall right now. We've been in contact with these people for 6 months. We've probably had 20 meetings with them over time.
Wow. Yeah.
We have another one coming up, and you know, it's a $3 million property. It's very attractive. Hasn't been available in 20 years, but this relationship has built. It'll be 12 months probably by the time it goes on the market. So for people to think that we're, you know, one-hit wonders or just quickly in and out, it's a relationship that goes on. There's a trust that has to be built.
Yes.
And you know, the integrity, you know, that you have is what they see. You know, we were interviewed. They had 9 questions that they went through, and you know, it was very competitive. There's other, you know, commercial practitioners that want to get everybody's business, and you know, we won it. You know, and it was the slow, steady, patient. You know, it's not something they do every day. So, you know, it's a relationship business. That is a fact.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And thankfully so, because I believe the
Oh, yeah.
market itself will correct itself, and the
Spot
people
on.
that are not out there to provide a service really and develop a relationship and take an interest in that person and not look at your client as just the client, but as a human, as a person that has needs, that has dreams and wants. Then eventually that person the market will take care of that person. That person is not going to get any business. It is a relationship business, very much so.
Well, and they're a great resource to us. So we're going back to these business owners. You know, there's doctors, you know, insurance folks, you know, there are other investors or mortgage people. You know, Tate, you bought your first property this year. And what was it?
It was a duplex.
Yeah, funny story.
I got
Tell
my
us
feet-
about it.
Tell us. Yeah,
So I
tell
got
us
my feet wet. I got a duplex here about a month ago. I was searching for about since the beginning of this year, trying to find a good deal, and ended up finding a duplex there in East Ridge, Tennessee, in Chattanooga. So I'm planning on living in one side, renting out the other, which is a good start for somebody that wants to get into multifamily. They've got FHA programs out there that allow you to do 3.5% down.
Right.
And it's a really good way to start.
But be honest, how many did you sift through before you found that property?
Probably 100.
Wow.
So, and it's really hard to find one that's a good deal, and that you can move in as well, and a place that you're going to be happy living. So I had to go through a lot of properties, but we finally found one.
Kissed a lot of toads.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we I looked at, you asked my opinion, location. I think you found, a really sweet spot.
Yeah.
And through that's what we do. But it's funny, how many of our past customers and clients did you reach out to for advice throughout that transaction?
Yeah, and I'm still reaching out to clients right now on advice on what to do with certain situations that happen with multifamily property. So your relationships can really help you in the long term, for anything.
Absolutely,
I
it
hear
works
you on the
both
phone.
ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a source of advice, but you know what? Many times that client becomes an advisor for us.
Yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, and we were talking for a future show a little bit about references and testimonial, and we definitely have a good group because they know us, hear from us. That we've got a great working relationship with them. So super important. I've been doing this for 33 years. It's built on that, that premise, of these relationships, and it's a resource back and forth. I got called by a past client. I moved him to Florida a couple years ago. Florida's not his thing. He's coming back, and he first thing he asked me about was my family. Again, he remembered my wife, my kids. I knew I had a grandson. We talked a lot about it. So it's sweet to get those calls, but we earn them, by that trust.
And as you were talking, I'm thinking here. Yeah, we are here just talking about what we do and what drives us, and the fact that we work with our hearts, and we're people of integrity. And in today's world, how important it is to have a solid review system online.
Right.
Okay, I have to say, I am very short. I fall short on pursuing people and say, hey, give me a review, leave a review. Do you work on that? I mean, how is that in your world?
I've gotten a couple of reviews over the years, and it really pays off. It really helps you out for getting future business.
I think all realtors have most, not all, but
no, I agree.
We can do better in that arena, because seriously, some of the best people in the world, and I've done this for a while, off and on in 20 years, and our realtors, our real estate agents, people persons. That's what we are. Yep. And yet, when you go online, and unfortunately in this day and age, it's that picture that's painted online many times that makes a client that doesn't know you decide, I want to work with him or with her. Look at what it says here. I know I have to work on that. I'm working on it. I'm setting aside some time specifically to get some reviews.
Very common for people to say they researched us. They called.
I've been told before.
They've talked to so and so because we did. A lot of times we'll send out a mail out. Hey, we just sold and closed on a property over there. And it's the neighbor, and the neighbor knows that seller, right? So they pick up the phone.
Sure. Yes.
I've got an appointment, today, at 6:30. I'm going over to. It was related to that sphere of influence. They talked to these folks. They said we were the greatest thing since sliced bread. We did a good job for them, and lo and behold, they have this portfolio of over 20 properties that they want to sell. So you have to earn those, and it was one of the other things that we do to touch people, that direct mail, that got it. But they researched us, so they're looking at those reviews and personal testimonies. So it's really big. I think that's the way this business is going to go. Personal interviews, where you can talk to these people, and hey, it's not what I say, it's what our past clients say.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And so, in this show, we try to, to make ourselves known to people, let people know that we're professionals in the real estate world. We take this business seriously. That's what we do for a living. And hopefully, we can earn the trust of our audience. And one way to find out is just calling and making an appointment or sending us a text. No strings attached, People that are thinking about selling their property, they have a ton of questions. And it may be that when after they meet with us, they get the information they needed to make a decision, one way or another. Same thing with a potential buyer.
Right. I always say slow down, listen, because the answer is in the words of the people you're speaking to. So find out what their goals are, help them
What
achieve.
they want,
right.
what they need.
Right. They are the decision makers. We'll help with the process, but and it works. On a daily basis. I see it like the month of September, really busy month for Coldwell Baker Kinard Realty. The car show, the Plus 55. We've got a softball team. That we're playing at Tinsley Park. Really busy with open houses and all that. We'll probably close 40 transactions. Those are 40 relationships, 40 families, that depended on us and trusted us. That's what warms my heart as a broker. Did we successfully help those people?
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
So call us, pick up your phone. Why don't you give your number again, Tate?
Yeah, 423-599-5340.
I tell you, you're not going to go wrong with Tate here. He's young, driven, very experienced, and he'll put a red carpet in front of you. Same thing with Sean, and I have to say myself as well. Yeah. So we would love to hear back from you. We are on Facebook. You can find us on A to Z in Real Estate on Facebook, and also through the Mix 104 WCLE. We're there. That's where our program lives, and then it goes to our own page. So you can communicate with us via Facebook, or just, if you prefer, your older generation, just pick up the phone and call us. I personally prefer to hear the voice.
Absolutely.
I'm not giving away my age, but I prefer to hear the voice.
Right, and it was funny. Tate gave out his Instagram, contact information. So there's different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
I've been doing this a long time as well, and I've got young kids, so they keep me in the groove. I understand, what's happening.
Do you do TikTok?
So I do TikTok now because of my son. Posts them for his business, and he showed me a little bit about it, and it's a curse because you can get in TikTok land watching these videos and things, but a lot of them are interesting for me because they follow your algorithm. So mine are real estate related and home hack repairs and things like that. And there's a lot of good real estate people that post.
You're developing an audience at TikTok. Is that right? Are you doing TikTok?
I have an account. I haven't posted anything, but there is really good content out there, real estate related.
See, I would know nothing about TikTok. I know that it exists. I'm getting into the Instagram world and, of course, Facebook.
Yeah, same with Instagram.
But, to me, it's one thing is irreplaceable is picking up the phone and calling my friends, my former clients, and say, hey, how you doing? Tell me a little bit about what's going on in your life. Let's get caught up. Seems like everybody's so busy all the time, and I'm guilty of that as well, but I try. So as I told you, Tate, the show goes quick. We're about 15 seconds down, so we are going to say thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you
for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And Sean, as always, thank you.
Thank you, Lizzie. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
You
have a good
do
Saturday.
the same. Good Saturday, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have you seen the new Coldwell Baker North Star signs? Coldwell Baker Kinard Realty has been serving the East Tennessee and North Georgia area since 1974 with 5 offices in Cleveland, Tennessee, Dalton, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Calhoun, Georgia. With the latest technology, CBKR's 145 licensed agents are ready to serve all your real estate needs. Call today, 423-476-5532. They offer residential, commercial, and land and property management. Call and speak to one of their licensed professionals today.